cool.
We'll just fuck it. We'll do it live.
I think we're on there right now. All right, guys.
Perfect.
I told you yesterday he was going to be here. The guy is here. This guy is a monster. I'm really excited to have him on. He push presses almost. Are you over 400 pounds yet?
I have been, yeah. I would say at the moment, probably not.
He's push press with your knee, yeah.
Yeah, I would say the knee there is not so helpful in my my push press. I'd say my strict press is probably still over 3.
Really? That's fucking insane. It's just so insane. So he's
I got strong shoulders.
Yeah, dude, you're built up, but so super strong. Competes in the Highland Games. And how have you done this the last 3 seasons? Can you tell me about that?
This season I've done nothing.
Well, yeah.
The season last year I took second at the World Championships. The year before that I took second. The year before that I won a second, and then I won.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy. So this is like a world champion with us today. I can't believe he's on the show. I'm really excited to have you. The dude's a monster. He's got Dreptoletta. He's got it's H. It's what my shirt says right now.
Yeah.
It says H. Roman numeral 8, so put that together in your minds. It says hate. When I first read, the first time that I read the synopsis or whatever, the backstory, the whatever you want to call it, the description of how you view hate, I was like, man, that's a lot like how I describe grit. Like when I describe grit, I'm just like, this is what it's all about. Like the world doesn't owe you shit. You got to show up. You got to earn it. And you got to have that relentless, disciplined focus to drive forward and always be improving. And so I really liked it, man. I bought a shirt that day, just like right away.
That's awesome, man. I'm stoked that it speaks to people. You know, that the message is strong enough, more than just slapping some bullshit on some T-shirts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It really wasn't ever the intention to start an apparel company.
Really?
So we're here now.
Yeah, I remember on one of your shows or something like that, you go something about, my goal was when we first started this, it was just like, well, if we send out 1 T-shirt a day, then cool, or something like that. Took this picture of all of these, and I was like, holy crap, he's actually moving some inventory at this point. Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's been really exciting. I mean, we started, first shirt was sold like October of 2014, and then it's just been pretty steady, consistent growth since then. There's never been like a major, like, holy shit, what just happened?
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So you're competing in the Highland Games. Lifting is obviously a passion of yours.
Mm-hmm.
You start this kind of, not personal brand, but you start a brand based off of it, and then you start what will be considered TV shows in the near future. You know, like right now.
Yes, right.
People don't look at YouTube as a TV show, but that's what it is.
No, they just cost me a lot of money.
Yeah, but
which is fine. That's what I like doing.
Yeah. So do you think, like, when you're doing your shows, do you think like it's just for your kind of intrinsic desire to influence people in a positive way? Yes.
Right. That's the overall goal. I mean, the overall goal now, you know, as things shift and I'm not really competing and I'm kind of beat up with this injury, I mean, that doesn't mean that I still can't be passionate about being strong and I can't show off like what better options I have in life because I'm strong.
Yeah.
And that's really the key, is that because I have this common thread with all these different people, I get to have all these unique, amazing life experiences. And I'm just trying to share it with everybody. I mean, I'm really not special, unique, and I do appreciate being a monster, but I'm by far the strongest. I'm not the strongest guy I know. I'm not the best thrower I know. I'm not the best at anything I know. So, you know, I fit pretty average amongst the group of people that I try to hang around, and I really try to showcase what you can do if you're willing to do the work.
Yeah. Do you think there's something to that? Like you say, like, I mean, you're world champion at one point. You compete clear up there, but you're not the best thrower. You're not the strongest dude. Do you think being around those other people that are like that makes you elevate?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, kind of what's that old saying? Like, you dance with the devil doesn't change, he changes you.
Oh, wow.
So whatever you surround yourself with is what you're going to move to.
I might steal that from you because
that's a good one.
I use the Jack Nicholson.
Dance with the devil in the pale moonlight.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean hardly anything when he says it, but it's a great line.
Yeah, it's a great line, but it's like, fuck that.
It doesn't mean shit.
But
He just says it to Michael Keaton.
Yeah, no,
Fucking
that's all it is. That's still the best Batman, I think. I'm still saying that's the best.
That's a good one. Tim Burton, it's a lot darker than people give it like credit for, and he kept it real comic book.
Yeah, for real.
I mean,
to watch it as an adult versus watching it when I was a kid, because I bet you I've seen that movie, I don't know, 50 to 100 times. But
it's good.
Yeah, it's still good.
I'd like to see a Tim Burton take on it now that he has the technology to have a guy in a suit that's not where he can't fucking turn his head. Yeah. I was watching a thing the other day about that, how that movie created the iconic turn, like with the stiff neck that they use all off of that. What's that? That suit was so immobile, like the head couldn't turn.
Yeah, Val Kilmer said that it was like finding out what it was like to be an old person. Like you can't bend over, you can't move, you can't go to the bathroom by yourself. Like,
it sounds like now.
Yeah, for you. Yeah.
Shitty knee. I need a bat suit, man. That'd be great.
So tell them a little bit about what happened with the knee, and I'm going to take a wild guess that you're still training, even though you got the knee.
Yeah, I mean, you're still training, right? But it's not the same.
Right.
Intensity is different, stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, you got to train. What are you going to do? Just sit around on the fucking couch? That sounds awful.
Turn to
just an amorphous blob. Just hang out, look like Peter Griffin without bones. Like the knee, there's no like catastrophic injury. It's like a long laundry list of shitty things that have happened that's got it where it was. So starting in 2001, I tore an ACL in college doing track. And I mean, wasn't bad, tore it. I was like, oh, that felt weird. And then jogged over to the training room and they were like, oh, your ACL's gone. I'm like, shit. Yeah. Had surgery, fixed it, tore it. 5 years or 6 years later, at a skate park, back when I owned a bike shop, just hyperextended and it popped. It was sore for a couple of days. I knew it was gone. I just didn't bother fixing it. At the time, I didn't have any money.
If your hamstring's strong enough, you should be able to hold yourself up.
Yeah, your ACL is like a seatbelt. I mean, you don't want to rely on it, but you can get away without driving with one.
Yeah, that's a good analogy.
I don't know if that's the way that analogy should work, but you get the idea. And then finally got it fit, or tore a meniscus February before last, squatting and training with John Wellborn. I actually had video of it on Drift to Lift. Nothing special again. Was squatting 315 and tore a meniscus. You don't tear a meniscus squatting. Yeah, it just doesn't happen. And so it finally just gave way. That's that's 10 years of me throwing and spinning without an ACL.
Yeah.
And so, but not to mention the lifting and everything else. So it just wore out.
Mileage.
Yeah. It comes with territory. And then got the meniscus fixed. And then, when we fixed the meniscus, that was basically just to limp me through last year. And then, it was like, we'll do some major surgery at the end of the year, fix the ACL, do this Oates procedure to fix some cartilage. And that has been a fiasco.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so we did the Oates procedure and the ACL procedure. And then went in a second time for a cleanup because I had some floating bits that were getting in the way.
That's fun.
Scoop out some scar tissue and some whatnot. And while they were in there, the ACL did not take from the first surgery. So 10 days later, went in for another ACL. Still have stitches in my leg.
Yeah.
In for another ACL. And then went forward. And as where we're sitting now, the Oates procedure on the inside of my knee is not healing for whatever lucky reason I have. And so we got to go back in. And so I've got another surgery scheduled the 15th of August. And go Monday to Birmingham to try to get a second opinion and see what they think as well. Just kind of get some other eyes on it. I got some contacts from some friends in the industry that are smarter than me.
Yeah.
So hopefully the surgery they want to do this time is really unfun, and I'm not looking forward to it.
Yeah, what do they?
It's a high tibial osteotomy. So really cool because my tib fib don't sit, or tib and femur don't sit correctly anymore. So my legs bowed, and so all the pressure is on the inside of my knee where there's no cartilage, and that graft is, so the graft is not healing. Because it's just taking abuse every time I take a step.
Yeah.
I even asked if I could like not walk on it for 6 weeks. Would that help? And they said no. At this point, it just is not going to heal. So they're going to backfill that behind where that graft is to give it some support with calcium phosphate. We'll do some stem cells. And then this high tibial thing is supposed to straighten my leg so that it's pressure down the center. And the way they do that is really cool. So they cut off the top of your tibia and wedge it open.
It's nasty.
And install some wedges and plates. It's like 90% of a knee reconstruction, except they keep the top of your knee.
Yeah.
So all the fun of healing from it with the knowledge of knowing I get to do actual knee reconstruction in 10 years.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, you get a little preview.
Yeah, so that's super pumped on the idea of doing another 4 to 6 weeks on crutches and another 8 months of rehab.
No, I know a guy that had this done. I remember seeing his knee.
Really?
Yeah, seeing it. Well, he got his legs straightened.
Yeah, it's basically.
Yeah, but it was nasty. I mean, it just it was gross. Like he like opened it up, and I mean, multiple colors going on in there. It was pretty.
Yeah, I'm not stoked on it.
No, but I mean, hopefully, but you
gotta go forward, right?
Hopefully, 6 months from now, you're walking around without pain.
Right. That's how I look at it. I know that what I currently am doing is not sustainable, and I don't want my knee to feel like this. I'm 34 and I'm in great shape, and I can't walk upstairs. Yeah.
No, I totally understand. Like, I really think like if I didn't do what I do, I don't know how well I'd be walking around right now. I mean, like I had a foot, a knee, a hip, a shoulder, an elbow, I busted my wrist. Damn. You know, I've done just about everything. I've basically done every joint, every major joint anyway. And after a while, you're just like, man, this sucks. Like it's almost hard. Do you find it's hard to keep on training through all that stuff?
No, because like training's a constant. Training's something I'm going to do in my life, no matter what. That part is just to keep the engine running. I mean, it's now being able to train the way I want to train. Not being able to do that sucks. I really don't like doing what's essentially lightweight conditioning circuits and bench only.
Yeah.
I've never given a shit about my bench.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah, all you do is sit on a bench and do curls. It's like, this blows.
It's the worst. At least I can ride the assault bike and like try to get my heart rate up. But I miss running, like being able to jump, and I want to be able to go ride my mountain bike or shit, go on hikes and stuff like that as part of the traveling. And I want to do, so.
It's amazing how much something, especially lower body injuries. I thought when I did my shoulder that was going to be the worst injury I ever had, because that was some of the worst pain I ever felt. So I dislocated it down, which is the worst dislocation. But when I did my foot, they told me that I might never walk again, and I was like, "What?"
Pardon?
So for a year, I'm like kind of hobbling around, and it was amazing. I mean, it was amazing. I got fat and I got skinny at the same time.
Awesome.
I couldn't do anything. You know, I was on one foot. It was amazing just how much that little, like this thing that when it happened, it was like just a freak accident. All I did was fall down. But how much it took away from my life, it just is awful, you know?
Right. And that's part of switching focus. That's why I've lost 50 pounds, and that's why I'm trying to find other things that I can pursue with as much effort that don't require my legs. Yeah.
No, that's one of the questions I had. So some of your recent stuff is you definitely cut down quite a bit.
Yeah, I'm down about 50 pounds. Yeah.
What's that? So training the way that you've been training for this long, you probably almost put most of your energy nutritionally into getting more muscle, I would guess, right?
Yeah. I mean, I've never really had to be conscious of like, oh, we need to eat to put size on. I can gain weight, no problem whatsoever. I mean, I've lost 50 pounds. I think realistically, if I really wanted to get back to 280, I could do it in, I don't know, sometime this afternoon. Just
right. You're waiting.
Taco Bell and pump it back up. Do what?
What's that?
I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, we're cutting out a little bit. I said you're weighing about, if you've lost 50 pounds down from 280, you're even weighing less than me at this point.
Yeah, I'm between 230 240.
Yeah.
So
that's good.
But it's been a good weight. I like it here. I may play with trying to drop a little bit more or see what I can do to just keep losing fat and stay where I'm at, but it's just easier to lose weight.
Yeah. Do you think, so I train a lot of people that are trying to cut fat, and a big excuse that I hear a lot of the time is that it's hard to cut fat when it's easy to put on muscle. You know, like when you're an endomorphic type.
Yeah, of course it is. Right. But at the same time, like, so then take advantage of that. Then, I mean, look, I've never been impressed by a 130-pound dude with abs. Like,
yeah,
congratulations, you're a fat chick with big tits. You didn't earn any of that. you just have it. And so it's the same as I feel about me being fat and strong. It's very easy for me to be fat and strong.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about gaining weight. I don't have to worry. I can gain weight and strength on like less than 3,000 calories.
You're right.
Yeah, I don't have to dump a ton of calories and eat all the time. Now, losing weight is much, much trickier for me because I really have to give a shit about what I'm doing diet-wise. I really have to care about every meal. I have to pay attention and do it. Otherwise, I just gain it back too fast.
Yeah. What strategies have you used so far? Is that, or was that like your first thing? It's just like, hey, I got to give a shit. It's like committing. Is that
committing is definitely step one. Like, decide that this is happening. And part of that, right, stupid commitment to it is I've done it every off season where I'll try to lean down a little bit. And then as soon as strength starts to suffer, the stupid brain kicks in and says, well, fuck this. That's not happening because we got to throw in a little bit. And so then bloats my goats. I'm back to being heavy. And this time I don't have that excuse. I don't have this reason to be strong right now. So pick a goal and stick to it. And you're people that like, oh, I'd like to lose weight and gain strength. Like, pick one, man. Like, you're not doing either one of them very well. So either be real strong or lose weight. And so I got tired of seeing that people on The Biggest Loser were capable of losing weight. And I don't have the same willpower as they do. Like, this is someone who allowed themselves to be 600 pounds, and I can't say no. Like, come on, you're better than that.
Did you ever think you go on?
No, I'm 240 pounds. They're not looking for me. You got to be like circus fat to get invited.
What's that?
You got to be like circus fat to get invited on The Big Loser to start.
Yeah, I met one of those guys that I didn't realize who he was. He was sitting beside me at a conference, and took me to the last day of the conference to realize, because people kept on coming up to him, and finally I was like, "Oh my God, you were on the show, weren't you?" I've never seen the show. Well,
no kidding.
I've seen one or two episodes, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see tiny little girl.
What's her name went on there? Mangold, American weightlifter. I mean, she's real big, and she went on and she dropped some weight. I think she lost 100 pounds or so. She's put it all back on. I mean, what they do to lose weight on the show is not sustainable.
No. Yeah, you're working out.
Yeah, they spend 5 hours a day in the gym, and they control every single calorie you eat. No shit, you lost weight. And
you're outside of your element that you're used to, like you don't have stressors. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and good for them. Good for anyone who goes on there and makes a life change, man. That's awesome. It's just not sustainable. Once those people are off the show and they're back in their normal environment, especially if they're in a house with 5 other people or, their family who don't give a shit with what they're eating or how they treat their bodies. Yeah. It's real tough to not have that support.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. What, kind of from a mindset angle, what other things have you had to kind of to twist around in your head? So like once the strength started to fall before, you were like, oh fuck, I got to get fat again to get strong again.
Right.
What?
It's just simply been diet. It's simply been weigh less and look less gross. Has been
really.
The goal. It started with I started following ketogenic style stuff and working with Mark Bell on it, and he helped me out a ton. And so he and I started talking shit to each other about which one of us could be less gross.
Yeah.
And that's continued. I had another little challenge with a buddy who went to Iceland with us, Nick Kumalatos, and less gross between us as well. And so that's always been the plan. It's never like who looks good. It's just which one of us is less disgusting. So,
do you think that your beard is coming in better?
It's definitely coming in better. I mean, it's not strong. It's you get close up or get to the side of it. It's still pretty touch and go.
Yeah, see that's not. I'm a pretty hairy dude. There's not much. I had to 15 years old. I was massive gross.
No, I don't have any very little body hair whatsoever.
That would be nice. You could take your shirt off.
Probably the heat down here.
What's that?
It's probably the heat. The heat down here probably didn't let me grow body hair. I think that's the science behind it.
Yeah, maybe that's it. So right now, you got some injuries. You're not sure if you're going to come back and compete. The Operation Not Get Fat has gone really well for you. So how are you balancing? So you've got the brand, you've got the TV show, you're training no matter what because that's your thing. Between training, production of the show, work, partying with friends, not partying hard, but how are you balancing on all this out, or do you even consider balance a thing?
I really don't consider balancing. I basically don't have a job. I make YouTube videos and sell T-shirts online, and then I work out in my garage occasionally. I sometimes travel, and then I film parts of it, and at night I edit it to what I did that day.
You do all
it's
editing?
not like it's not like I'm out roofing houses, man. You know what I mean? I would have a really hard time explaining to my grandfather, a World War II vet, what it is I do for a living.
Yeah, I would imagine.
He'd be like, you do what? And I'm like, I'm sorry.
So what do you think? So you built this life up that most people would probably dream of, what do you think is getting in people's way?
Deciding to do it. I mean,
right.
Here's the truth, right? It's easy to say that. It's easy to say, well, you just got to do it. And that's fucking not true. I was in a good spot. I wrote a book and I won a world championship, and I had a following that had started to amass because of things I had said, plus my network in the strength industry was already good from traveling years before that, doing things that I didn't realize were helping me build a business, right? That's the truth of it. I spent 6 or so years traveling the country for work, and then when I was in different places, I would train at different gyms and meet people that I wanted to talk to. So I became friends with Mark, and I became friends with Jim Wendler, and I became friends with guys like Steve Pulcinella up at Iron Sport, and got to know a lot of people. And then did some years of strongman and got into Highland Games and competed in that and was pretty good at it. But I did outside sales for 10 years. So if there's nothing else I'm really good at, it's maintaining relationships. And so relationships with guys like Mark and Jim, those are guys that I wanted to be around, not just because they would help business or be good network, because I fucking like them and they're friends. I didn't have any of this ambition to start this business thing. I never thought that making my living from this industry. That was never, ever my plans. It was always just something on the side to do that I really enjoyed, which allowed me to work a regular job during the day. And then when I got off, build my second job and then sleep. I mean, that's how you do it, is you steal hours. I mean, you've got to decide that this is more fucking important to you than anything else you want to do. Yeah. If that's what's getting in your way, you're in your fucking way.
Yeah.
You don't get a week off. You don't get a weekend. This shit's got to be done.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to work for yourself? That's awesome. Congratulations. You've chose to work and make less money to work 90 hours a week for you instead of 40 for someone else.
Yeah.
That's the reality of it. Now, maybe that goes somewhere. It sure shit didn't the first time when I owned a bike shop. That was a failure. But that happens too. No, it didn't work great at all.
No, my first outing in business was miserable. I think it was a good idea at the time, but I just didn't do anything with it.
Same. Look, I was 22 and I opened a bike shop. That was the problem with the bike shop was that 22-year-old me opened a bike shop in a city that doesn't do much biking.
Oh, nice.
So real fucking smart move.
Yeah, I was 22 also, but I couldn't pick up a phone.
Nice. Nice. That's good. That's good.
Yeah, it's kind of funny, but do you think like everything that you learned from strength and conditioning though led into like everything that you did in strength and conditioning seemed to lead into the brand, into the business building? But do you think that like what you learned from working your ass off in a gym to become an excellent athlete, or to become an elite athlete, an elite athlete, do you think that was like the kind of the driving force behind what you do now?
Yeah, of course. Those lessons always play, right? And it's like the Rollins quote or any of that part of the gym is that it's consistent. It doesn't give a shit. It doesn't owe you anything. 200 pounds is always going to feel like 200 pounds. The iron doesn't lie. Yeah. And
it'll always kick you the real deal.
And that's how you should feel about work. And that's how you should feel about business. Is just like it. Like this idea that like your job is supposed to be this life-fulfilling thing, like that's what fucking hobbies are for.
Yeah.
And if you're lucky enough that your hobby can become what you do for a living, at some point you'll kind of dislike it.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. It's both. But like you still got to do the work. Like I mean, a paycheck from Hate Brand, like really until the end of last year, after running a business for 2 years.
You're kind of cutting out here.
It sure as shit. I didn't get a paycheck at all from Hate Brand until like the end of 2016. And
you started it in
2014. Yeah. And so, I mean, that's the reality of that. Like, I could not have funded my life with Hate Brand.
Yeah.
Can now, but I've also got great sponsors that pay me.
Yeah.
Not just send me free stuff. I don't fucking need free stuff. Like, I need money to help do things that people want to see for me to promote your products.
Yeah.
Like, that's how that works. And I've been lucky enough to only want to work with, I've been lucky enough to be in a situation because of the years I spent in the gym and traveling and competing that I've got enough credibility that I'm not a snake oil salesman. I don't ever push garbage to people. I only push companies that I've worked with or I was buying their products prior to me deciding to work with them.
Yeah, and that's integrity, right?
Yeah, but as soon as you lose it, it's fucking gone.
Oh, gone forever. Yeah.
Yeah. And so but there's definitely times, right, where it's tough to say no to that short-term payoff.
I would imagine, yeah. I don't get a lot of those, but yeah, I get what you.
You will. They come. I just, like, no, man, I don't want to fucking push your strength app that I've never used or gonna use. Like, nah, I'm good. Hard pass.
What is it called? Like MLM, like multi-level marketing stuff. Like,
yes, of course, I get those too, and it's always hard pass.
What is it? Like the detox teas and shit like that. I'm like, you can't.
Right, snake oil.
Yeah, but
if
it
you
works.
decide to jump on board with that, no, it doesn't. What works is less calories.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's less calories in your then move more, eat less. Fucking hell, that worked amazing.
Yeah, it's
Isn't
crazy.
there? I like it, take.
Yeah. No, that's in the book that I'm writing right now, in the nutrition portion, I'm just like I kept on rewriting this chapter, and eventually I was just like, they already know all this.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, so I just like wrote it based on that. Like, you already know everything that you need to know about nutrition.
Yeah. At the bottom, too long, didn't read, eat more. Yeah, eat less, move more.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You want to gain weight, do the opposite.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, it's kind of interesting the people that how do you say this? They think they can eat more, and then that's going to make them lose weight. It's one of my favorite things. It's like, no, you got to eat every 2 hours, or it's not going to work. It's like, yeah, no, I'm not.
Your body doesn't give a shit, dude. I don't believe for a second that your body cares. I do believe that there are quality calories you can put in, and there's quality fuel that you can put in that will change things like your metabolism and do stuff like that, for sure. Yeah. But there is a base level, and at the end of the day, if you're consuming more than you're burning, you're going to gain weight.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to argue some of that stuff, but
whether you gain muscle or fat, Thank your parents.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, like you're obviously like more of an endomorph type. I'm probably more towards like the mesomorph type. You get, an ectomorphic style that is going to be a really hard gainer, but they're going to deal with carbohydrates better than you're going to deal with carbohydrates. Yeah. They're going to have a hard time gaining any fat, man, but they're going to also have a hard time gaining muscle. You're going to gain muscle and fat real easy.
Right, which I don't understand why people don't play their strengths, right? Like, I didn't decide that what I wanted to do was play in the NBA.
Yeah.
That wasn't my fucking passion. I'm going to be terrible at it.
Yeah.
Find what you're good at and do more of that. And, I mean, if you're naturally 150 pounds, like, maybe throwing shit far, like, isn't for you. Like, there's other options out there. That's why powerlifting has and weightlifting has such awesome weight classes.
Yeah.
Or, like, if you're 6'7", like, don't think you're going to the CrossFit Games.
Yeah, no
I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just going to say it's real slim.
Yeah, real
you
slim.
can do some stuff to stack the cards in your favor. There's
like
a reason that all the male winners of the CrossFit Games look like cardboard cutouts of each other.
Yeah, no kidding. They really do, too. They're just like...
Pretty close.
You can change the hairstyle and the faces.
Just put the same bad sunglasses on them.
You should do like a lineup of the winners throughout the years. And
it's just Rich Froning and one other guy, so I mean, it wouldn't take very long.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, that's funny. But, you ever going to compete in those?
In the CrossFit Games? No. No, I would say the chances are pretty slim. Not that I don't like. I like CrossFit. I think it's great. My wife participates in it. I think every time I've ever been to the gym and taken part of a workout, I think it's awesome. I love the community. CrossFit's done more for barbell lifting ever than anything else.
Yeah, you have to admire them.
It's amazing.
I mean, for a lot of different reasons, but for the amount they put a barbell in everybody's hand and said it's a good.
Yep, I have just as close of zero qualms with CrossFit. Now, some of the stuff CrossFit HQ does, that's different, but that's politics and business, and I don't compete in the sports, so who gives a shit what I think?
Yeah, I totally understand you there. Yeah, the only, I don't know, I used to be a little bit more of a snob about it, but, you could get into some of their, exercise prescription and one size fits all, but for the most part, the concept, the 30,000-foot view of CrossFit is genius.
Right, but even their exercise prescription, right? I mean, they're not marketing to elite. They're marketing to inside the bell curve.
Yeah.
If you're a day one guy who's, 500 pounds and has just showed up to the gym to try to get your life in order, going to have a rough go. Also, if you're a games level competitor, the daily CrossFit workouts isn't what you need to do.
No, not at all.
You have to train like an athlete for your sport.
Yeah, totally. That I wish that, at some point, hopefully that becomes kind of more of a mainstream understanding. But
yeah, well, if you're running a religion, it's easier to speak in absolutes. You don't give people the option to think for themselves.
Good point. Yeah, and if you're in business like they are, it's probably you're gonna.
It's the same thing if you're writing a book, right? You don't. That was really, really great advice I got from Jim. Was write like you're telling a 5-year-old, because tell them what accessories to do and how many to do and what they should focus on. Don't give them the option of pick 2 accessories, because then you have a bunch of questions. Anyone who knows that they can do good mornings instead of RDLs knows that, and they don't need your permission.
Yeah.
They know it doesn't affect the program because they're not stupid.
Yeah. Jim.
He's great.
Yeah, he's awesome. I definitely I don't think I've ever read anything by him that I didn't enjoy reading.
It's funny. It's funny because I've got to know him pretty well over the years, and Windler, who writes, is much different than the Jim that I hang out with.
I bet he is.
And it's still there. It's just a different volume.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, the guy who writes for T Nation, I don't want to fucking hang out with that guy. But he's not writing for me. You know what I mean? I'm not that dude's target audience. I don't need education on why front squats are important or fucking using the safety squat bar. And so I get it. I get it, and I get the character, and I get his line, and it's still great. He's still writing very, very strong beginning strength and continuing a strong life material.
Yeah. Well, 531's like, I mean, that's just genius. It's in our curriculum that we give to the guys that come to work for us. It's just, it's so simple. It's just like, yeah, that's.
I'll never write like a starting strength book because it's done.
Yeah, right.
What am I to do? Just put my name on the front of that one and add cleans to it, which really isn't much different than what my program is anyway. So that's why I just had Jim write the forward for it, so no one thought I ripped him off.
Yeah, Windler took Mark Ripeto's book and took cleans out of it, and then dumbed it down about 4 grades, and then took about half the pages to say what he needed to say in it. And
right. Chad Smith ran it through a kaleidoscope and made it really complicated.
Yeah.
So
that's good now.
You know, at the same point, like, Jim didn't invent sets of 5.
No.
They're still a good fucking idea. Am I gonna write my program with sets of 6 just so people don't think I'm ripping off Windler? Like, he didn't fucking invent that.
No, there's actually, if you go back through the history of like strength and conditioning, it's amazing the different concepts that people have come up with. Like the dude who, one of the first guys who could squat 1,000 pounds, the way he did it was he'd hook a bar up to these 1,000-pound barrel, or each barrel was 500 pounds, and he'd dig a hole, and he could lift it about that far off the ground at the beginning, and then he'd throw some dirt in. The next day he'd do it again, throw some dirt in. Next day, pretty soon he's going all the way from the bottom to the top. It's like that's,
I guess that's one way to do it. I mean,
really,
I've been around some wacky training stuff. Like during powerlifting, I trained with Gary Frank. I don't know if you're familiar with him. He's kind of been forgotten as far as powerlifting goes, but he was the first guy to break like the 24, 25, 26, 27, and 2,800 pound totals. Played professional football for a while. He was just a freak.
Yeah.
And like, this is geared powerlifting, like, you know, squat suits and bench shirts and all the above. And so that guy's training method was 52 weeks of heavy max singles.
Really?
Yep.
He just went until he felt
no accessory work. We'll go in, we'll hit a max, and we'll call it a night.
I guess, whatever.
Yeah, and it works really good until you're like 21.
Yeah.
As long as you're still growing and like actually getting stronger naturally, like, yeah, it'll work. But then at some point, like when your body plateaus, like, you just get hurt.
Yeah. And eventually that reps to failure don't really work out so well in the.
No, there's very, very little accessories. But it works for Gary because Gary's so far outside the bell curve.
Yeah.
Anything he would have done would have worked.
I mean, that's like the Louis Simmons thing too. Like, he's got guys that are elite as it is, and then they're adding drugs to the equation, and then
a lot of drugs.
College coaches are trying to apply it to.
Yeah, it's a lot of drugs, and it's a lot of that environment too.
The drug thing is so outside of those guys' ability to do what they do that, and they still work in there.
I mean, those guys, right? Like, I mean, it's still an even playing field because like everyone's on. Like, that level of powerlifting is not tested, so who gives a fuck what the drugs are taking? It doesn't matter. That's not the drugs aren't the make or break. The drugs are the same as, of course, I'm taking protein.
Yeah.
The fuck do you mean not take protein?
Yeah.
Like, and so, I mean, that training methodology as well as that environment that he's cultivated there is what's special. It's not the sets and reps.
Yeah.
You know, it's the effort
it's pretty cool.
And the environment.
Yeah, because there's guys that have gone down there, not done drugs, and put 150 pounds in their squat in a summer.
Yeah, of course.
That shouldn't work out.
Right, and I mean, the conjugate method works.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a program that I want to do training by myself in my garage.
No, me either.
I like simple.
We do kind of a version of it. I mean,
there's definitely still stuff I take from it, for sure. You know, I like speed work. I like stuff like that. I just think that their speed work, geared speed work and regular speed work are fucking different. And speed work for powerlifting and speed work for athletes is totally different. Like me doing 80%, I'm not moving fast anymore.
Yeah.
Like me at 60% to 65%, I can still move fast. I can still move at a speed that I feel translates to me needing to throw.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I don't throw anything that weighs a whole lot. The heaviest thing I throw is like 56 pounds.
Yeah.
I just need to go real fast.
What can the stone get up to? It's like 25
The stone's
pounds.
like 28, yeah, 25, 28 pounds. The light stone's 16. The weights are 28 and 56.
But still, I mean, yeah, exactly. Even the cube method, if you get in that, which is, I mean, like he's calling for 80% speed work. And it's like, I don't know, like general population, I don't know if we're really fitting in there. Yeah.
Right. Again, I think it's a powerlifting book, right? And if your goal is to be good at a sport, everything in the gym for you is GPP.
Yeah, exactly.
And you need to treat it that way. If what you're currently doing doesn't make you better at your sport, fucking stop.
Yeah. And if it doesn't make
your goal is to lift more weight and have a bigger total, then yeah, figure out what works for you. Figure out what your body responds to well. I mean, and what I respond to very well on push press and squat is not the same that I respond to very well on bench and deadlift.
Yeah.
I need way more volume on those two to get those things to want to go.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's a good point. But Matt, we're gonna. I actually got to get going, but I try to wrap these up at 1. It never happens.
Yeah, I understand.
No. So how can they get a hold of you? How can they follow you?
Instagram. I hate Matt Vincent, spelled the same way as the brand, HVIII. I have thehate.com spelled the same way, so luckily that's complicated for anyone to find. Didn't think this through when I started a brand, by the way. This wasn't very smart marketing. Yeah, it's doing fine. If they find it at this point, you figure they're on board.
Oh yeah, good.
And then the YouTube channel is Matthew Vincent.
Yeah, cool, awesome, man. Well, thanks for being on. I appreciate it. This is pretty cool to have you on the show, but hopefully we can have you back again sometime.
Yeah, dude, love to. I like a format where I didn't have to explain the fucking Highland Games. And I could just goddamn talk about stuff. I'd way rather do that.
That's great with me.
Because no one cares about the Highland Games. Like, that's fine by me.
Unless you do care about the Highland Games.
And then you already probably know.
Care about the Highland Games.
Yeah, you don't need me to tell you what the 9 events are.
Yeah.
And for anyone else out there, give it a look up, and I throw stuff there. Got it.
Yeah, and most people are like, wait, caber? And he's
yeah. Cool. That guy's killed telephone pole. You've seen it. I do that.
Yep. Exactly. But all right, man. Well, thanks for being on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, cheers, man.
I think now we're